Well. UFC Fight Night Vegas has just ended, and it was very ironically a Apex card. It wasn't a great fight night, and a lot of that could be attributed to the fights falling off the card, but there was a lot of mismatches. It felt like it was booked very poorly, at least in my eyes, and we will be reviewing every fight on the card, starting with the main event. Carlos Prates versus Neil Magny. Carlos defended the takedowns early and put Neil out cold with a phantom punch from the looks of it. I didn't see anything connect. He might have slipped and hit his head on his hip maybe on the way down. I don't know. I didn't see. I haven't rewatched it too many times since, but the Fighting Nerds. Fighting Nerd supremacy, that's all I gotta say. They're so cool. So good. I love them. The Fighting Nerds are great. And yes, that was a great performance by Carlos Prates. I think this fight should have been Jeff Neal. And they should have had RDA versus Neil Magny. I don't know why UFC likes just feeding people fights or something. Because, yeah, this whole card was just that. A lot of heavy favorites and not a lot of interesting fights at all. And before this, we had Renier de Ridder making his debut in the co-main event against Gerald Meerschaert, GM3 the GOAT. CGI was really coming into play on this one. There was a little bit of botched CGI with the tap out. It didn't really look that real. It was very slow. They got to work on that in the UFC graphics department. There was also, like, at the end of round one, some CGI where GM3 got knocked down. It didn't look right at all. He was rocking Renier de Ridder early in that round, and then just at the end got put on his booty. Looked like he was out cold for a second, but yep, RDR got a round 3 submission. And yeah, it didn't look legit, but it's the fight game, I guess. Before that, we fought, and we made our bantamweight, not debut, but yeah. Ilya got a nice win at 135 against a guy who was really strong, and he got some nice 12-6 elbows off and really hurt him. Not a lot to say about that one. It was a fun fight. It was like the first fight that actually went to the decision. That was actually fun. Before that, we only had 2 women's fight go to decision, and they were not that fun. Speaking of which, Jillian Robertson versus Luana Pinheiro. That was the fight before this. Yeah, Pinheiro had nice boxing. She was landing good shots, but Jillian had the grappling, and that won her the fight. Typical WWE stuff. I am very tired, in case you cannot tell. Very tired and very angry. And before this, we had Mansour Abdul Malik versus Abum, who he KO'd very quickly. Again, why was this fight a thing? I did not need to see this. It was not competitive at all. Not competitively booked. I don't think this was one. This might have been one of the short notice replacements, but yeah, not a lot there. And even worse so, before this, we had Denise Gomez versus Karolina Kowalkiewicz. And that was the worst fight on the card by far. Denise Gomes, whatever you want to call her. She fumbled. Should have had a better performance, biatch. That's all I gotta say. Moving on, I need to let out some steam. Alesi Zaleski dos Santos versus Zach Scrogan. Scrogan was 7-0 for nothing. If you looked at his record, all he fought was old dudes who have negative win-loss records. Why, Zach Scrogan? Why? Who's giving you these fights? Who are you friends with at this fight promotion you fight at to be getting these fights? That's what I would like to know. He didn't even look like he wanted to win. He went down to a nothing punch He just saw it coming and fell. He didn't get hit. And then he just covered up and let himself be TKO'd. Cool. Easy payday for Zach Scrogan. He missed weight. Maybe he loses some of his purse. Maybe not because it's short notice. Who knows? Who cares? And before that, we had going into what seemed like to be the fight of the night. In reality, ended very quickly in 50 seconds with a KO by Charlie Radke. We all love us some Charlie Radke, so that was pretty cool. But the ref has PTSD from Bobby Green versus Jalen Turner because he did not want to even risk a late stoppage. In fact, it was a very early stoppage. And yeah, I wanted to see more because this card had a lot of round one finishes and it was not very fun. It went by too quickly. And yeah, there was more downtime than fight time, except for when there was long fights and it was just boring. Thank goodness we had Ilya versus Cortavius Ramios to give us at least one good fun decision. Because yeah, for a while it was looking like it was going to be an all-finish card, at least in my eyes. But the women had ruined it. Someone who didn't ruin it though was Damon Blackshear versus Cody Stamann. Now that was a fun fight. He landed a nice double knee combo into a bunch of straight punches against the cage, which put Stamann down. And Blackshear had him in a guillotine. He survived the guillotine, but only survived long enough to make it into the rear naked choke, which finished him. Very nice, very fun fight. It's the kind of energy we needed on this card. But another weirdly booked one because it wasn't very competitive. And the story continues with Treson Gore versus Mackenzie Dern's boy toy. Once again, why is this guy in the UFC? Why is he fighting? And why is he getting finished in less than 2 minutes by submission? Who is this guy? Making Shara Bullet look garbage. Would Gore just maul him like that? Is that what would happen to Shara Bullet? Who knows? I guess we'll find out eventually. Probably not Gore versus Shara Bullet, but someone who can grapple. And yep, that takes us to the first fight of the night. Militia Mullins versus Claudia Sigula. Claudia cannot grapple for anything. Once she's on the ground, she cannot move for the rest of the round. And yeah, she started round one looking good. She was winning a boring fight. But as soon as she got put on the ground, she started taking damage, and that round one was very close. Hard to call. But you didn't need to call it. Round two, she got finished. And yeah, that wraps up all the fights of this very boring card. A lot of finishes. Some of them good. Most of them forgettable against low competition. And yeah, this was fitting for a Vegas 100 card. Should have been Neal versus Prates in the main event. Jeff Neal, not Neil Magny. My bad. And yeah, I think that's the next fight to do. Prates wants Madalena in Australia. I don't know about that. That's a big jump up, mister. So yeah, I think give him Jeff Neal, give us a fun fight. If Jeff Neal wants to have a fun fight again. Instead of just being all Ian Gary shy for no reason. Because Lord knows Ian Gary's just waiting to get fraud checked in Tampa. And we all can't wait. But yeah. I am a tired, angry man. I hope you guys enjoyed the card more than I did, at least. And I will hang myself after this, but in the meantime, you can comment and tell me how you like the card or something. Subscribe for me. And yeah, I'm done.